Welcome back to Predicting the NFL with Mickey G. It is your host, Mickey G. And last week, we did not have the best week, alright? We went 7-7 and got every single one of the special games incorrect. Game of the week, wrong. Upset, wrong. Crapfest, wrong. Jersey team lost, and I picked them to win, and they lost. So, all around, just bad display there. However, we are now, for the total of this season, we are now 104-62. So we've reached the 100 win mark, and I think we have a decent chance to keep the losses below 100 this season. I think we can do it. We have an extra week that we haven't had previously, but before this last week, we had a 5-game streak of doing really, really well. And usually the last half of the season, we do solid. And historically, week 11, we are not great anyways. But so far the rest of the season, we are 5-6 in games of the week, 4-7 in upsets, 4-7 in crap fests, 5-6 in teams when I wear the jersey, and I'm 5-6 in my jersey team picks. Overall for week 11, we are 48-35. It's not great. It's our second least amount of wins for the games we've done, for the weeks we've done so far this season. But anyways, we're 40-35, 2-3 in games of the week, 3-3 in upsets, 3-2 in crap fests. Jersey teams have never been successful when I've worn them. They're 0-1, and I've only done it once for this week, and I picked them, and they lost. Not a great showing for week 7. However, next week, week 12, is historically our best week. We already have 57 correct predictions, and that is our third highest for weeks we've already done. So we need 6 wins or 6 correct predictions this week for it to tie our highest. So I think we're going to we should do well this week with our predictions. So last week, let's see how the games went. The Dolphins, and they beat up on the Raiders. Raiders weren't good. That was my upset. That was kind of a bold pick. I was thinking they fired the OC. Maybe they'll look better. And they didn't look terrible offensively, so it might have helped a little bit. But their defense didn't do a whole lot to stop the Miami Dolphins. So that is really where the negative spot was. The Steelers, they beat the Ravens in a close one. 6 field goals from the leg of Chris Boswell. Once again, the Steelers proved that they do, in fact, own Lamar Jackson. He can't do anything against them, so that wasn't super surprising. I did get that one correct, so that was a big brain moment from me. The Colts, they upset the Jets. I had no faith in Anthony Richardson, but in reality, I should have had no faith in the Jets because they stink. The Jets have let me down a few times this season, I think. But I don't think this is anything. Everyone always thinks on a week-by-week basis. So, of course, Anthony Richardson had a good game against the Jets, who have been bad defensively since they fired Robert Saleh. So now everyone's like, oh, see, why would they ever start Joe Flacco over him? Because before that, he was really, really bad. It made sense to do it. And so now, of course, people are going to think they're special for still believing in Anthony Richardson. He's going to be bad again. Like, this didn't solve anything. But whatever. We'll see next week. The Chiefs, they did, in fact, lose to the Bills. I was wrong. I thought they were going to hold on for a little bit longer, but I should have known. Bills, historically, Josh Allen against the Chiefs have been really good in the regular season, and they just had a weird game plan for the Chiefs. D-Hop and Kelsey just didn't really get targeted at all that much. Noah Gray was the one who was the performing player for the Chiefs. Just a weird game from them. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. So the Bills did, in fact, get the victory there, and they're looking really good now. The Bengals, they lost to the Chargers. They were getting blown out in the first half, and then the Chargers started charging a little bit. But unlike normal seasons for them, they were able to get it in the end. A missed field goal from McPherson gave them the ball, and they went down and scored a touchdown and won themselves the ball game. So big game for Herbert. A lot of things changing there in Los Angeles. They might be a contender if they can win games that normally they would lose as the Chargers. The Vikings beat up on the Titans. No surprise there. That was expected. The Saints beat up on the Browns, even though Jameis had a pretty good game, actually, almost 400 yards, a few touchdowns. Like, he looked pretty good. It's just their defense couldn't really stop New Orleans, and they allowed a pretty long punt return as well. So Saints looking really good since firing Dennis Allen. They might be able to fight for a playoff spot if they keep it up. The Rams, close one, but they were able to beat the Patriots. They're a weird team. They did really well offensively. Both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua with over 100 yards and a touchdown. So both of them playing phenomenal. Their defense really needs to do something because right now it looks bad. The Jaguars got absolutely demolished, which is what we were hoping for. 52-6, the final score. Everyone scoring a touchdown for the Lions. The first 7 drives they had were touchdowns, and they tacked on a field goal at the end there. Somehow, Doug Peterson, Balky, Press Taylor, all those guys did not get fired. I don't think I can watch another one of these Jaguars games, because with Trevor out, they have no chance, but for some reason, we can't fire him, and so they're going into the bye this week. This is the perfect week to fire a head coach, give an extra week for whatever the interim is to do stuff, and they're just not doing it, and it's stupid. Literally, everyone is calling for them to fire Doug, and for whatever reason, Shad Khan thinks he knows better and just won't do it, and it is truly mind-boggling, just ridiculous stuff. The Falcons got absolutely smoked by the Broncos. They're looking really good. Bo Nix, a solid game from him again. And Falcons, you're disappointing me. might have to put a little less faith in them because they've really been hurting me these last couple weeks. The Texans really beat up on the Cowboys. They were struggling a little bit early, though. I mean, final score 34-10, obviously a blowout, but for a bit there, they were being a little stinky, and I was like, guys, come on, what are we doing? We gotta lock in here. But they figured it out in the end, and I'm still not sold on them being good this season. I think CJ's really in that sophomore slump. He's going to bounce back for sure, but there's just something going on there in Houston, and this is not working right now. The Eagles beat Washington on Thursday night. It was a close one, but it wasn't really a close one. Only a one-score game, but that's because of a garbage time touchdown that got them to 18 to get within that one-score game, but Eagles, I maybe need to start hating, but also it might be entirely on the back of Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts still does not look good. I am not sold on him at all, but Saquon is definitely a top 3 running back, if not a top 1 running back. I might still put Henry above him, but Saquon's been doing some crazy stuff this year, so he's definitely up there. The Packers able to beat the Bears on a blocked field goal. Last second field goal, Caleb Williams gets them in the spot, and it's blocked. Not much you can do there. Really funny, though, and it works for my prediction, so I'm really cool with that. It also was Chicago, so I expect it to be a little different when it gets to Green Bay. I think it's going to be all one-sided in that game, and Love really needs to lock in. These interceptions are starting to become a little bit of an issue. He's still doing well. He's still throwing the ball great. It's just when he does throw it bad, it's picked off, and that hurts the team. So he needs to get that under control. And the Seahawks with the upset over the 49ers. Every week I'm like, don't know who's going to win this game. They're in this division. Sometimes they decide to win, sometimes they don't. CMC didn't really do a whole lot to my knowledge. So the Seahawks were able to get the win, and I was a bit surprised by that one. But that division's ridiculous. All 4 teams could win. All 4 teams could get last place. It's completely up for grabs, and it's honestly really fun, so I don't even dislike it a whole lot. I think it's great. That's how last week went, so let's talk about this week's predictions. First, we have the Steelers at the Browns. We have our Thursday night game, big divisional matchup. However, the Browns are bad. They're struggling even when Jameis has a good offensive performance. They're still not able to win as of last week. The Steelers are on a roll right now. However, this is a classic Tomlin trap game, but I'm not going to predict a trap game. The Steelers are winning this one. They should win it by a lot. It should not be particularly close. Next is the Titans at the Texans. Texans, while struggling a little bit, in my opinion, they're still definitely the best team in that division, so I don't think it totally matters. They're going to beat up on the Titans. Will Levis is still their quarterback, and he is not good at the sport. I'd expect a lot of sacks. The Texans defense has been able to get a lot of sacks before, so far this season, so I think it's going to continue here in a rough game from the Titans. Texans winning this one. Next is the Patriots at the Dolphins. This is our crap fest of the week. Both these teams are not great. The Dolphins 4 wins, the Patriots 3 wins. Patriots doing a little better the last couple weeks. Drake May looks pretty solid for them, but I've been hating on the Dolphins a lot, and I don't want to get stuck in that. So I am going to go with the Dolphins here. Last week, I picked a lot of games in ways I wanted them to go rather than what I thought they would go, I think. And so I'm trying to fix that because I want a good week from week 12. Historically, we do well, and I want to keep that up. So I'm going with the Dolphins, unfortunately, in this one. Next is the Broncos at the Raiders. Raiders, not a bad game from them totally. I mean, they got beat by a couple scores, but they didn't look as bad as they have offensively, at least. And the Broncos, on the other hand, they're looking really good defensively and offensively. It's hard to pick against them, and I don't think the Raiders are very good. So I am going to go with the Broncos in this one. Another team that I don't want to pick, but I am going to do it. And next we have our game of the week. It is the Ravens at the Chargers. Chargers are on a roll right now. I think they can look at that film the Steelers just had against the Ravens. They can see what they struggled with and really clue in on that. And with Harbaugh, a guy who's a pretty smart coach, and they've been doing really well defensively this year, I think they're going to be able to stop them. And I love Herbert, and the Ravens defense has been giving up lots of yards. So I think Herbert's going to go out there, get a lot of points, and they're going to be able to slow down this Ravens team. So I am going with the Chargers in this one. Next is the Lions at the Colts. So last week we had Colts fans thinking maybe Anthony Richardson wasn't bad and he's good. However, they are now playing probably the best team in the NFL. I don't like saying that. I don't think Jared Goff's going to get them anywhere in the playoffs. But when you score 52 points multiple times in a season, it's hard to not say that they're good. So the Lions are going to go out there. They're going to smash the Colts. All right, it's going to be a bloodbath. And I am actually going to enjoy watching that. I'm going to enjoy watching it. As someone who's been hating on the Lions all season, I will enjoy watching them beat up on Anthony Richardson because that is an agenda I care more about. Next is the Chiefs at the Panthers. There was thoughts maybe the Panthers could be spoilers to the Chiefs' undefeated season. However, the Bills just got it last week. So I don't think they're going to do it. They're coming off the bye. That's great and all, but this is Andy Reid we're talking about. I don't think he's losing to Bryce Young. It might be a close one-score game. They really like those one-score games and winning. So maybe they'll do that again, but I'm going with the Chiefs in this one. I can't make a stupid pick here. Let's be realistic. Next is the Vikings at the Bears. Bears having a lot of sack issues. They're getting in the backfield quickly, and Williams is getting scared, and he's getting taken down. The Vikings blitz the most out of, I think, anyone in the whole league, so I'm expecting a pretty big game defensively for them. The Vikings are getting this one. I don't think Bills are winning the game the rest of the season, or the Bears are winning the game the rest of the season. Vikings are going out there and getting this one. And next is the Buccaneers at the Giants. This is our Jersey game of the week. I got the creamsicle Josh Freeman on, and it is magnificent, let me tell you. Giants just benched Daniel Jones. That's a good thing. However, it's for Tommy Sandwich, and I don't think the Giants, no matter who their quarterback is good enough to beat the Buccaneers. Evans is back this week. That is huge for them. So the Buccaneers are going to go out there and win this game. Let's be honest here. They're the way better team. They just had some rough games recently, and they're coming off a bye. So they're going to be feeling pretty good. Buccaneers getting this one. Next is the Cowboys at the Washington Commanders. Cowboys are bad. They look awful. Rush does not look good, and Trey Lance behind him is also not good. So they have no real quarterback option out there. Washington, on the other hand, tough couple losses recently. They're going to bounce back against this terrible team. It's not going to matter. With Parsons back, they might have a couple exciting plays for Dallas, but it won't make a difference in the long run. Washington's winning this one. Next is the Cardinals at the Seahawks. I don't know what I want this game to go. I don't know how I think this game is going to go. I'm going with the Cardinals. They're coming off a bye. I think that's going to help. And right now, Kyler's playing pretty well. So I'm going to go with them. And I don't think the Seahawks win 2 in a row. I don't really have a great reason for that. But so far, the Cardinals are undefeated in the division. And maybe they keep it that way. Maybe that's what gets them the division title. So yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals in this one. Next is the San Francisco 49ers at the Green Bay Packers. Neither of these teams I've been liking a lot of things that I've seen from. 49ers not playing as well as I thought they would with McCaffrey back. And the Packers, they've had some ugly wins and some ugly losses recently. I think this defense still has great players on the Niners. I think they can get those interceptions that Love has been throwing. I think it'll be close, down to the wire, and I could get this one wrong, but I'm going to go with the 49ers this one. I think they should be the better team, but I really just don't know. And I think also helping that they're coming off a loss is going to fuel them a little bit more. So we'll see. And last is the Eagles at the Rams. I've been hating on the Eagles for a long time, and that's not stopping now. All right, this is our upset of the week. I'm picking the Rams. This is probably a really dumb pick, but I think the offense should be able to hold on. Their defense isn't going to stop anything anyways. If they can just keep moving the offense effectively, I think Stafford has a chance to just outshoot Jalen Hurts. I think that could be, if they get up early and they don't lean as much on Saquon, I think that could be a big factor in this game. So I'm going to go with the Rams, and they're once again in that division who can beat anybody or lose to anybody. And I've been picking a lot of Rams upsets this year, and I want to do it again, and so I'm going to do it again, but it might be ill-advised, but that's what I'm doing. So Rams taking the upset here. Now, we have 6 teams on a bye this week. The Bengals, who don't know what they're doing. They've been losing so many close games. Joe Burrow playing solid, Jamar Chase playing really well, but they're just losing the games anyways due to their defense and their special teams and just random people messing up in random ways. Bye should definitely help them out a lot. The Jaguars, I thought that was going to help out a ton. I thought they were going to fire the coach and they were going to come back and they were going to be spectacular with Trevor Lawrence back leading the thing. But he's hurt still, maybe, who even knows. They're going to be sitting. They have a lot of injuries as well, and maybe they'll come out of the bye week, figure something out. They have a lot of division games left, so it's not totally out of the question for them to be able to get there. But I don't know. It's ridiculous, man. I can't stand this team right now at all. Bills, they're in a hot spot right now, and I think sitting for a week can only help them because get a couple people back healthy. That's going to be great for them. They're in a huge spot. To have the bye week so late, they're going to be fresher going into the playoffs potentially. So Bills in a great spot and looking for them to do well. The Jets, you guys stink. We don't get to see them play this week. Unfortunately, they're bad. I think they have injuries. I don't think it matters, though. I think they're just bad. The Falcons, they're in a weird spot as well. I don't think they have a ton of injuries either, but they're just a weird team. So helping sit this week as well, figure things out. The Saints, the last couple weeks they've been playing pretty well. A couple upsets, a couple of solid games from them, and I think it's only can continue. I mean, they do have injuries for sure. I don't know if they're injuries that people can actually come back from the rest of the season or in the short of a timetable. But the Saints, I think resting up, I think it's good. Get another week with their new coach going out there. I think that's only success. So a lot of these teams definitely need to bye week to help out, but we'll see how they look after this week. But that's all for this week. Those are all the predictions. Thanks for stopping by, and make sure to come back next week.